Hello everyone and welcome back to Reddit Reads. This one reads, am I the a-hole for telling my husband I don't think I'm wrong for not helping him more? It's already labelled as everyone sucks. So, let's begin. 40 female, husband is 37 male, okay? We have 4 children together, but 6 kids total. Ages 6, 3, 1, 6 months. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of kids. I am the sole provider. He has been a stay-at-home dad since 1 month before baby was born. I was also home until baby was 4.5 months old. So, the last baby or all of the kids? Like, stay-at-home dad. Had a high-risk pregnancy and insulin dependent. I went all appointments alone while he stayed with the kids. Okay. Needed an emergency C-section. Also a BF mom? I don't know what that means. Breastfeeding mom? Correct me if I am wrong. No clue what that stands for. The other kids were also breastfed, so nothing really new. Ow. So is it breastfed mom? Because you've said breastfed there, but you've got BF there. I'm going to assume breastfed. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong. I'm going to ignore that piece just because I don't really know what it stands for. I didn't get much help personally from my husband as he was managing the kids. Up, dressed, fed, etc. I was getting up on my own, showering on my own, feeding, caring for the newborn on my own without his help, even though it was hard and painful. I drove the newborn to multiple appointments while he stayed back with the other kids. I would also go pick up our 6-year-old from school. I wasn't supposed to be driving or lifting, but I did to balance out what he did for the other kids. I was up at night with the newborn, and at times I'd sleep until around 9:30 and then come downstairs to be around the other kids and him. If I asked for help, he'd immediately hand the baby back to me and say things like, the baby doesn't like me, or there's nothing I can do with this baby. Ooh, that's a bit... After a month postpartum, the 1-year-old would nap from 12 to 3. Sometimes the 3-year-old would nap the same time. Or if not, would have quiet time and wasn't any trouble. I'd still take kids to appointments, pick up 6-year-old from school, organised all clothes and separated them as we used hand-me-downs, meal prepped 30 freezer meals, managed and paid all the bills, got the groceries. He'd leave for the gym the second the 1-year-old would lay for a nap, come back, nap, wake up for me to get 6-year-old from school. Once I returned, he'd leave with 6-year-old until 5:30. I'd try to have dinner ready in between nursing the newborn and the other littles, then begin bedtime routines. If I tried to sneak away for a shower, I'd still come back down to a screaming baby. Once I went back to work, I kept asking what I can do to help. I'd still leave work early to pick up 6-year-old. He kept saying there's nothing I can do, so I believed him. When I got home from work, I would be bombarded by the kids. I'd prep dinner for them, help with bedtime routine. I wouldn't be able to change out my work clothes until around 9 p.m. After being back from work for all 10 working days, he decided he needed to leave for a while out of state to his family, leaving me to find daycare for the kids while I'm still working full-time. While he was away, his parents paid for his ticket, gave him money, got new shoes, went golfing with a friend. He returns, tells me that he left because I was wrong for not helping him, and he was burnt out because I was being lazy and just wanted to sit and hold the baby all day, every day, and that I do nothing to help him. He said I took advantage of him. I told him I don't believe I'm wrong, and I don't believe it's a right-wrong situation. We are both doing what we can. First off, you're just talking about your 4 kids. What's happening with the other 2? Straight off the bat. You apparently have 6 kids, but you're only talking about the 4 that you have together. How old are the other 2? Where are they? What's going on? First off. Second, okay, let's just talk about the 4 kids. 4 kids! 6 and under. You are both going to be exhausted. You are both going to be crazy busy. You both no longer have free time. 4 children. Don't know where the other 2 are. 4 children. 4 children. 1, you asked him if there's anything else you can do. He said no, so that's on him straight off the bat. You asked him. You straight up asked him. He said no. That's on him straight away. He cannot throw this back on you saying you didn't help. Straight off the bat, how are you not helping with everything that you've said? Huh? Second of all, you just want to sit there with the baby and hold the baby all the time? You literally gave the baby back saying, this baby doesn't like me. What was it? Baby doesn't like me. There's nothing I can do with this baby. So, do you want to help with the baby? Or are you not going to help with the baby because the baby doesn't like you and there's nothing you could do with the baby? So what is it? Because if the mom is the only one who can soothe the baby, she's going to prioritize the baby since the baby doesn't like you, apparently. But, well, first off, you're both just crazy exhausted here, okay? He's a stay-at-home dad, constantly surrounded by kids. You were constantly surrounded by kids as well before going back to work, but then you also had to still contribute to taking care of the kids while going back to work to get an income. You were both doing so much. You were both exhausted. I think you both need a break, but you both have 4 kids under 6 that you need to take care of. There's no breaks anymore. No breaks anymore. You have 4 kids. You're both burnt out. Like, Like, one thing that I will say is, I do not like the fact that he just leaves. Like, hello? You didn't try to communicate at all. She asked you if there was anything else that she can do for you. You said no, and then you leave. That is terrible behavior. You are both exhausted parents. You do not just abandon your partner after refusing to honestly answer their question that you needed help. And then you do not come back and say that they weren't doing anything and they were being lazy. Huh? You are both burnt out. You are both going to be permanently burnt out for the next, 10 years. Like, what? The first 10 years of a child's life is probably the most hectic ever. You are in charge of keeping a life alive, feeding it, clothing it, bathing it, keeping it entertained, making sure it sleeps enough. Hello? Like, you're both gonna be exhausted for the next 10 years, at least. There's no breaks anymore. There is no breaks anymore. I don't understand why this is labeled as everyone sucks. I don't understand how she's the a-hole here. She was still contributing a lot even while going back to work. He was the one that refused to give her an answer when he needed help. She asked, "Do you need anything?" He goes, "No," and then he abandons them. So she was only at work for 10 days and then he decided he needed to leave. Out of state. Having kids is not easy for anyone. Honestly, I think if having kids is easy, you're doing it wrong. Like, you are in charge of a whole life. Teaching that person. Molding them. Keeping them alive. There's no breaks. It's exhausting work. You can't just abandon your family because you're tired. You have 4 kids. Of course you're going to be burnt out. You can't just abandon them. Let's read these comments. I fear for these comments because this already has been labeled as everyone sucks. Okay, so the first one is maybe you shouldn't have had so many kids. If that's why you're labeling this as everyone sucks, not the point at all. Clearly, you won't know how many kids is too many until you get to that number, which is unfortunate. But you can't label them both the a-holes just because there's too many kids that you wouldn't have. Like, I don't even want any kids, but I'm not labeling them as an asshole just because they chose to have 4 or 6 kids. I'm understanding. They're exhausted. I have no kids. I have a 17-year-old cat. What? I'm not going to label them an a-hole just because they decided to have kids. Unless they were bad parents, obviously. But given the information that we have, I don't think they're bad parents, except for the dad who decided to abandon the family. What? What kind of answer is that? How are you helping? Yeah, to the comment I just read. Not the a-hole. A 40-year-old man should know what he's signing up for by the time he's having his 4th kid. If he can't handle another newborn, he should consider getting a vasectomy. 4 kids is a lot to handle. If anything, he's taking advantage of you. Yeah, 6th kid. Because I don't know why they didn't talk about the other 2 kids. Maybe previous partnerships, maybe? On, like, maybe his side, I don't know, her side, I don't know. That's not clear. OP mentioned they have 4 kids together, but 6 kids total. The other 2 kids could be her or his from a prior partnership. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, after having kids, you should know what kids entail. OP has a 16-year-old who lives with them. Husband has a 12-year-old who is only there part-time. Oh, okay, so it's a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. Right, okay. Not the a-hole. In what world were you doing nothing as the birthing and breastfeeding parent, sole provider, cook, meal prepper, household manager, driver, and by the sound of it, primary parent whenever you weren't physically at your job? This man is delusional, and before the what if the roles were reversed people show up, I'd say the exact same thing. If they were, aside of course the fact the husband would not have been able to go through a difficult pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, but be that as it may, he also walked out on his kids, which is automatic a-hole maneuver. Yeah, if the roles were reversed, I'd be saying the same thing. Anybody who walks out on their family without communicating with their partner and blaming it on I'm burnt out, a-hole. You have 4 youngsters, 6 and under. You're gonna be exhausted. That's a given. You chose to walk out on your partner without communicating. Actually, she attempted to communicate, he just lied for some reason. Not the a-hole. Oh my gosh. He knows he helped make those kids, right? He can't pick up and leave like that. If he wanted time to visit family, he needs to discuss it with you and work to get childcare coverage. And blaming you for not helping is not helpful. Beyond that, you both just sound a little overwhelmed. 4 kids, 6 and under is a lot. Do you have a family that can help out or can just get some childcare evening or a week? One evening a week or so? Yeah, exactly. You both just sound exhausted. Which I'm pretty sure you are. Exactly. 4 kids, 6 and under. Who wouldn't be exhausted? Who wouldn't be exhausted? No family since he left kids. No family since he left. Kids have been in daycare. He was gone for almost a month. A month? When you just started back at work after maternity leave, I would have changed the locks and called a lawyer. I thought he was gone for a week and that was bad enough. I could see him needing a break, but it sounds like he went to family who all coddled him and told him how unfair everything is. A month? If she can do without him for a month, afford daycare without him, what is he bringing to the table? She is back to work, continue to cover everything plus daycare while he is on vacation for a month. OP, does he bring any joy to your life? This just got 10 times worse. You abandon your family for a month? Not the a-hole. If anything, he is the lazy one. Or let's maybe say the selfish one. He doesn't need to go to the gym every day during nap time. And if he does, he doesn't get to complain that he's burnt out after having had 2 hours of me time every day with a newborn in the house. Oh, good point, actually. I didn't think it was every day. Maybe it was every day. I do not think she is the a-hole. I definitely think he is. And that's given if everything here is true. People lie on the internet. I think you are both utterly exhausted. The fact that you have 6 kids together. 4 of them under 6 years old. Anybody would be utterly exhausted. For him to pick up and leave for a month? It sounds like you're doing just fine as a single parent. I'd be dumping him, honestly. Huh? If he doesn't want to bother with the kids anymore, then just go full custody and just, bye. Like, I wonder what his older kids think of him. Or his older kid thinks of him. I don't think you were lazy at all. I don't think either of you were lazy. Let's just say that. Neither of you were lazy. You both were doing so much for these kids. He became a stay-at-home dad. And then you went back to work. Like, you were both doing so much for these kids. But he was the one that decided to leave and abandon them for a month. And then blame you on being lazy. Which is stupid. I think he's just regretting his choices. Which sucks. Because there's life in this world that you have just created. And that you've abandoned. But, yeah. He's the a-hole, you are not. But, let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.